Welcome to Zero Hit Points for the week of August 19th. I'm Ryan Miller, and it seems like an awful lot of work for such a short show. Matt Amberg.
You're right. There has been an awful lot of work for a short show.
Now everything you do, I'm going to think, oh, that's gone. It's cut out. But it's not. It's just you. Sometimes you have a wordless expression about you.
Sometimes I do. Other times I say things.
Am I lagging more than usual?
I don't think so. Am I?
Maybe, actually. Unless you're starting everything with wordlessness this week. Oh, gosh. We've been troubleshooting something for
okay.
Well,
wait.
I know what it is.
Here.
It's Discord. We've been troubleshooting Discord for a good 20 minutes.
Here we
probably.
go. We'll test this out, okay? Okay, here. You say the first letter of the alphabet, and I'll say it as soon as I hear it from you.
Okay. A.
A.
Now I can't tell if you're...
I did it. I said it at the same time as you.
All right. Fantastic. Tell you what. We'll cut out the first 20 minutes of us troubleshooting this show and just start from here.
I think we should just cut out the show. The best part is
on Zero Hit Points, where we talk about video games each and every week. Matt Amberg.
You got very
yeah, I don't know. Was it Bob Dylan or something?
No. You got very Count, very Sesame Street.
You're right. It was Bob Dylan. I went way too highbrow on that. Or did I go lowbrow? Who's higher brow? The Count or Bob Dylan?
Well, obviously the Count. I mean, the Count is the highest of brows.
He's a Count.
Yeah.
You're right.
And I mean, look at what he's wearing in general.
He's royalty?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Isn't that?
I don't know, but he's good with numbers.
It's true.
He's at least got an accounting job lined up.
Which makes him royalty in my book.
Yeah, he's like the Burger King, probably, but of
I believe that's a separate character altogether.
Well, how do you know? The guy's in a mask.
It doesn't count at all, actually, from what I've seen.
The guy
doesn't care how many burgers there are,
but
just as long as they're all of them.
But it's still a guy in a mask. Maybe this the Count is
wait,
you know what? I'm tired of this. I want to expand. I want to try.
Are you talking about the Hamburglar?
No.
Or the Burger King?
The Burger King.
He has a mask? Or you're talking about
he is a mask.
Okay, you're talking about New Age, Sneak King era Burger King.
Yeah, the only era of the Burger King that matters.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Jeez.
Is there? Yeah, okay. You might be right. I can't think of a Burger King mascot before.
Yeah, it was
the creepy one.
Probably just like a burger that they put those those eyeballs that you can get for Halloween that are like a ring.
Burger King puts eyeballs in their burgers.
Yeah,
yes,
the Burger King ring. That's what they call it. Yeah. It's an illegal
ring.
Right. It's an illegal ring where they get body parts and it's.
I thought it was the ringworm that showed up 2 to 3 days after eating a Burger King burger.
Well, that's because of the black market body parts that go into the ground meat.
Solved.
Yeah.
Burger King. We solve things on this podcast since we have the time this week.
Yeah, you're basically Tracy Morgan and I'm basically Jenna Maroney.
Okay. I thought for a second you were going to be Bruce Willis and we were going to do
Cop Out?
Yeah.
No, you're Tracy and I'm Jenna. We're the problem solvers.
Okay, I'll take it. I haven't seen that episode in a while. I'm guessing that is an episode.
It is. Yes.
Of 30 Rock. Are you doing that again? This isn't the movie one. We can't talk about it legally, but...
I am not. It was just something that popped into my head.
You're just always in some form or another doing 30 Rock.
Yeah. It's...
As everybody should be.
That's true.
Tell you what, also this week, there's going to be a show about Infinity War and Endgame of the Avengers variety on both there. Infinity Endgame, you could say. Yeah. It's not a bad name, really.
It's the Endgame of Infinities.
I might name the show that. No, I'll probably just name it Book Club for Movies number 68 or whatever it is. But that'll come out later this week.
Yeah, we don't talk about media here.
Nope. Just the games.
Okay, what's just this game?
And if I had to guess, games might be a stretch. This week, is it just the game?
The game.
Or did you have something besides Wolfenstein, the Wolfenstein?
I do not have any more video games. I played board games, but...
Oh. You can do that if you want. Like I said,
I did do that. Thank you for allowing me, though. I appreciate that. Very kind.
Number one, you didn't call beforehand to ask permission, so you're asking forgiveness at this point.
It's easier.
And I just meant number two, you could talk about it. You have permission right now to have permission.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Pass.
Because we got the time. Because last week we were hurrying because we did all of the Marvel movies leading up to Infinity War and Endgame, and I was like, no, we can do it because I've said that before and I'm an idiot. And sure enough, We didn't do it. Or we recorded 2 hours worth, so it turned into 2 shows. So this week, all we're doing is this, and if you don't count all the 30 to 40 minutes we've already spent troubleshooting, this is going to be a quick one.
It's almost done. We could actually do the post stuff now, so we can do the, hey, you know what? Podcast is 0 hit points. We're there. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Now let's talk about the rest of the show, and then we'll shut it off.
No, we don't have a rest of the show for this. Technically, the whole thing is the rest of the show.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, okay. Let's do this show.
Okay. Tell you what, I'll catch us up on Wolfenstein.
Okay, Wolfenstein.
And then you can board game us.
I don't have anything to tell you. I played the DC comic book, like the collectible card game. It's
the thing you sent me a picture of.
Yeah, it's a Cryptozoic game. So if you've ever played any Cryptozoic collectible card game, it's that. It's got a different skin to it.
I'm going to have to look this up.
Yeah, you've played these. I think you played Penny Arcade, the game, didn't you? The board game?
I did not.
Oh, yeah. It's basically
Spyfall.
that. And they've added some stuff to it. I haven't gotten that far. We're only playing the base game right now.
Rebirth must be the thing you're talking about.
I'm not talking about Rebirth.
No. Oh, is that an expansion?
Yes.
Gotcha.
It's literally called, I think, the DC collectible card game. That's the first one.
Outlander.
Then the second one is Heroes Unite. And I actually did get that one because it's the one that has the Shazam card in it. So
ooh,
I had to get that.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I haven't gotten to play them yet.
Annihilation? There's got to be more recent examples. I don't know any of these games from Cryptozoic, so I don't technically know what you're talking about.
It is a card game wherein everybody playing chooses a random hero, and you start with a deck of cards that allow you to buy cards in a lineup. The lineup always has 5 cards. There is a super villain that the goal of the game is to either clear the main deck, and the main deck is like 100 plus cards, or beat all of the supervillains. You beat the supervillains the same way you buy any other card, so you just have to have enough You just have to have enough points per turn, and your points grow as you buy cards, and then some cards let you attack the other people in the game and screw them and make them add cards, and yeah, it's very simple.
I think I found the problem. It's that I don't know collectible card games, and I don't know why I thought I would recognize a developer of them. So it's not Gwent. So
no.
I'm way out of my league.
You're not. Wait, this is.
This
is like a 20, maybe an hour. You spend an hour and you go, I get everything about this game.
No, sure. Yeah, I understand. I know the genre collectible card game or whatever.
Sure.
Like, is it a good one of those as far as you know, or are you kind of just in it because you like the DC stuff?
No, we're having fun with it. We enjoyed the games we played, and
when you say we,
Beth and I.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's building her own deck.
Yeah, I mean, but it's deck. It's not like you build a deck and keep it. It's not like Magic where you're like, oh, I'm doing this. It's a game where you're building the deck as you play, and then you're done with it.
Oh,
and then the next game you're gonna rebuild your deck with different characters, and
I like that.
The superhero you have has different actions with the cards. So sometimes if you're if you have certain cards, then. If you play a defensive card, so I had Booster Gold was my superhero of the first game. If you play a card with a defense on it, I get an extra power, which is that's currency basically.
Okay.
So cards cost power. So now I get an extra 1 power along with all the other cards I played. Beth had Red Tornado, I think, and that character is a character that we definitely came up with some table rules on because holy crap.
OP or what?
Can be very. This is one of those things that I actually read about the Heroes Unite expansion where people were like, yeah, it's its own game. It's basically the same game as the first game. They changed up the cards and the superheroes, so they're different, but it's the same game. Except the cards they made for that game were very much so made with the thought of doing your synergies with those characters. So the back porting on some of the cards can cause snowballs, and Beth ended up.
So it was the Red Tornado card from the expansion?
Yeah. And
Okay, gotcha.
Beth pulled that, and she kind of she ended up with this big snowball. And the nice thing about it was, though, because I saw it coming and I could see what her cards were doing, and this is part of that strategy and in any card game, I started picking up cards that had unique things to them. In particular, there was like a Green Lantern card where at the end of the game, you got extra victory points for having that card or for having one other card. Oh, you got extra victory points for every hero card you have in the deck. And I was just buying hero cards left and right. Gotcha. And so that ended up we ended up being relatively close. I think it was like a 16, 17 point game, which I don't think is that's not too bad. But she, like, that character late game, man, that person, if you're not like rolling and trying to get those supervillains out of the way before that character starts going, it could be a bad time.
So you're not deck battling at all. There's a community thing and you're dealing out cards to each other, and then
you can. It depends on the card, but for the most part, it's a power game where you're literally trying to just buy. You're trying to ultimately have enough power to buy each of the supervillains, and when the supervillains are gone, that's the end of the game, and then you tally up your points.
But it's not like a collectible card game in that you're building your own decks to then pit against other people that are doing the same. You just have a deck that you kind of
or are
you basically doing that? You're just doing it from the same deck.
No, you do it from the same deck, but it's less. You're not doing like a one-on-one thing. You both have a common goal, but you're not working towards it together. You're both fighting against the other person, and there are cards that are actually attack cards, and they do certain things. Like, so there are cards called weakness cards. A weakness card takes away any victory point if you have it in your deck at the end of the game. So ideally, you want to dish out weakness cards left and right. You want to get them to have 10, 20, so just knocks 20 points off their total.
Sure.
Yeah. The other thing that I do really, really like about this is, again, setup super easy. Gameplay, once you get like a little bit into it, almost everything is extremely clear. Like, the cards are very clear. It's a very simple resolve all your cards before, like as soon as you lay a card down, the action is resolved. You do it. It's done. When you're done with your turn, you don't have to use all your cards. They get discarded into a discard pile. And you just keep playing until you're out of cards, and then you rebuild the card deck depending.
So simpler than a game like Magic or, again, Gwent.
I don't know that this is tougher than Gwent. I think this is like, it's different, but it's also pretty clear in terms of, like, I think Gwent is very clear about their cards. Magic for me never was. Magic was always kind of confusing. This isn't bad though. It really isn't. One of the things I do really love though is at the beginning of the game, as you decide which games, which cards you're using, each expansion comes with a villain card, a super villain card that is supposed to be played at the beginning, and they all do different things. So like in the main game, it's Ra's al Ghul. In the Heroes Unite one, it's Vandal Savage. And so they do their thing, like they come up and they're the first ones. You got to get rid of them. But every subsequent supervillain you flip over has a first appearance, and they do universally something awful. Like they cause you to draw a bunch of awful cards. You draw the top 3 cards of your deck, get rid of 2 of them. It's if the top card of your deck is worth more than 3 power, you're dead. Like, game's over. You failed. Yeah, it's fun. It's cool. It's relatively inexpensive. It's like $20, $25. It's a good sized game, man. It's got.
I'll have to pick it up, meaning I'll have to lift the deck from your table next time I come visit you, and we maybe play it.
Absolutely.
You want to hear about Wolfenstein?
I was there, but you might want to talk about it. It's fun.
Every now and then, I feel like something happens in a game, and I'm actually glad you brought that collectible card game to the show, because I thought this was going to be all we had to talk about. But it would have been enough, because I was like, man, I don't even care. Like, I know we're not doing book club this week because we got that in the bag, but I have to do a show on this just to talk about one thing, if it's the only thing we talk about. And we've talked about Wolfenstein plenty already, what that game is, what we've kind of figured it out to be. Still as fun as it's been. But we got to the last of the... I guess it does go in order. I heard somewhere you could do them out of order, but it really seems like there's a progression. I mean, they're called Brother 1, Brother 2, Brother 3. So
yeah, in
any event... This definitely seemed like the most difficult of them. So we're on our path doing Brother 3. We're making our way through the map. I don't know, 5 loading screens maybe? Like, we're into the thing. Like, we're digging into this. We're looking for stuff. We get to the... Was it the final guy? The actual brother?
Probably.
I almost can't remember.
It's like that all blended together, man. We played it like... We went through those 3 like... Bup, so...
Also, what happened next was so aggravating. I may have just like roofied... the last 2 minutes of whatever was going on. So we died, meaning we spent all 3 of our community lives and game over, which have we actually ever done that before?
Once.
We've done it once before.
Once. It was really early on too, before we knew to look for the life crates.
And it must have also been very close to whatever the checkpoint was, because this time we game overed and it set us back over an hour.
Yeah.
From what we were doing. And just immediately like I said, 5 loading screens in, so I'm like, oh, okay, at the very least it's putting us at the last loading screen. No, like way back at the beginning of this entire thing, and I just stared at it and almost immediately said, I gotta go.
We same thing. We were like, yep, done.
You were already gone, even, it seemed. Oh, so bad.
That was like not good.
No, I didn't want to play that game until like an hour later. And this is something I haven't told you. 2 things happen in a game when something like that goes on. I quit it forever. Like I've done that. Like I've put games down like that before and never gone back to them for that. It's just the worst, man. Like all that wasted time. There's one thing a game can do to lose me immediately and forever, it's waste my time. And for me, that was a huge waste of time.
Sure.
But I came back. So I figured also probably the problem was that we started mainlining the story stuff. So I was like, well, maybe I do all the side stuff and I leveled up. So I actually went back. I did all the side stuff and I'm at least 10 levels higher than I was now. Mm-hmm. So that might help us when we get back to it. I don't know. But at the very least, I think that's a checkpointing issue. Like, why would they do that? It doesn't... Like, the Destiny doesn't even do that. I mean, I guess it does if you're considering that the whole thing is a world, but not like 5 loading screens into like... several different areas. And
the other thing that, and this has just been kind of in the back of my brain since we started playing it. Why do they refer to them as Brother 1, 2, and 3? Why wouldn't they refer to them as Bruder 1, 2, and 3?
Well,
seems lazy.
That might just be us because the game is entirely in German.
Because they're French. The French folk are the one that's the French Revolution. They're the
Is that where we're at? I don't even know.
The French are like helping us.
I guess. Oh no, we're in liberated America, or I guess that's where the game started.
I don't think so. I think we're in liberated.
Did we travel?
I think we're in Paris.
Okay, so here's the other thing that
here's
happened.
Another issue that we're running into.
We talked about that too, how the game kind of loses its threads as you try to delve into the open worldness. Here's the other thing that happened as I went through all of the side stuff kind of one by one. I kind of found what I was looking for with that thing, because I was initially a little disappointed because it didn't have kind of the crafted story stuff that I feel like the newest Wolfenstein games have been known for.
Yeah.
You know, like there's stuff that happens in the middle. Like the story is the most important thing of those games, it seems, and the execution of it and the cutscenes and like just all of it's really, really good. There wasn't so much of it, you know, and in doing all these side missions, though, I kind of found some of that. Like I found some of the areas that we had already been to that were then, I guess, contextualized because I knew the story that was happening in that area now. Like you're going to, yes, they're fetch quests largely, but you're unlocking doors along the way. You're going, like every now and then we would run into an area and clear it out, but we didn't have a good sense of where it fit. It was just kind of another thing. Mm-hmm. Well, now I'm going through the areas and I know this area leads to that, and you're unlocking a door, almost Metroid-like, that you can then go back and forth from if you ever do go back to it in more of an open sense.
Yeah.
So it was good doing the side stuff. It kind of made the game make a little bit more sense to me. And
nice.
I don't know that I'm sold on the story Like, I don't know if it's the strongest story, but at the very least, I found where they put it.
You know, it definitely seems like a game where, and this is just because we're not, you and I are going to play a co-op game like this probably slightly differently in terms of when I play by myself, when I pick up collectibles, like I read it right there and I like the whole thing, or I listen to the, here is a collectible thing that I really friggin' hate in video games. I hate it. I hate games that do this. Fallout is one of the few that doesn't do this, and I like. If you are given a tape or a record or something that you can play that gives you backstory, don't make me sit on the screen, like the pause screen for it. Let me back out, keep playing it while I'm playing the game.
Oh, is that?
I don't know if it does it here. I haven't listened to any of the tapes. And actually, no, I have. And yes, it does do that. And I hate it. I hate games that do that. Just let me hear it while I'm doing things. I can multitask, you know, but.
Well, normally I'm the same way. I like to read everything also.
Yeah.
But I don't find myself doing that in this game.
No.
Because there are so many and because we're usually playing together. Like, I don't.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like together, I won't do that. But I think that maybe if we were playing it alone, that would help a great deal contextualizing things, right?
Yeah, and that's what I ran into, though. I'm like, you know what? I'm finding what I wanted out of this playing alone.
And
and I feel like that's not... It's become two different games at this point. I'm like, I want to play it with you, and we have that fun and whatever, even though I think we got one mission left, and I don't know if we'll go too far behind that. I mean, I will if you want to, but I don't know how much we're into that rather than going to play something else. But, yeah, and then I'm playing it by myself, finding what I'm actually looking for, and then I'm like, well, okay, if I don't want that anymore, I can do this other thing that I also want. So it's having a hard time maybe coming together into something that's...
It's not as cohesive as it could be.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of wants to be two different things, and I don't know if in the end, I would say, in fact, probably the co-op version is suffering more than anything. I mean, it is it's funny how we're going back to the very first thing we said about this thing. They made a co-op Wolfenstein game. I guess for better or worse, this is that, and now you can play it with somebody else, even though all the stuff you love about the Wolfenstein is kind of less important in that venue.
This definitely feels more run and gun and less story. Yeah, so.
Well, it certainly is for me. Tell me, are you sick of me actually running and gunning yet?
No.
I've ruined your stealth so hard.
You have multiple times ruined that, me trying to just get mastery with it, and you're like, nope!
This is how every single level goes. We walk in, you go stealth, I don't notice, you get up to the first guy, I headshot him before you can touch him, and then everybody is alerted to you, who is out in the middle of the field. Every single level. And then I'm like, oh, sorry.
It's like when I cloak, you literally don't, like, I'm not in the game anymore. You're just like, well, he walked off the side of the building. Guess he's dead. Better do it all.
Tell you the other thing I found out, because I bought the cloak now.
It's real fun.
And so I can do both. So maybe I'll be better. I don't know. But I got through, I had replayed the first level because you got some XP and stuff for it. You get a big old XP bonus if you go through without setting an alarm off.
Ah, I bet.
I got it on the first one, kind of just accidentally.
I bet you get that with every level, huh?
Probably. Every section, maybe even.
That's real stupid, and I hate it. Although that once you get the last level of cloak, that's actually probably not too bad. Because you can stand still while you're cloaked and it regenerates. Yeah,
and I don't know. I don't know how the upgrade tree goes just yet. I'm actually having, I mean, it's bare bones fun, but they've done it bare bones well enough that I'm having fun with the upgrade tree and the weapon
mastery
tree, I guess also, yeah. Because you can buy certain add-ons that then combine give you a stat bonus, and each weapon has a mastery about it depending on how many kills you've got with it. So I'm interested in that stuff. Gives you something else to do. Gives you that extra layer that makes shooting guys a little funner.
Yeah, I just wish there was more to it. It's
bare bones.
Just because you bump up the power, it doesn't make any difference. I wish it was something where, the first gun they have bullet wounds. The second time, okay, maybe you dismembered a limb. The third time, their entire freaking torso explodes.
I think you get more of that with the Kraftwerk guns.
I do like that you can vaporize.
Because all their upgrades turn them into way different things. Like they give them actual different firing mechanics.
I do like being Dr. Manhattan and vaporizing people with the laser one.
The guns are good. That stuff's all good.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. It's probably fine if we don't ever talk about it again.
Yeah, we'll talk about the end of it at least.
That's true. We will. And we'll get to the end of it. What are you doing today? I'm not doing anything.
Not much.
Fair enough. I'm sorry I put that to you live on air. We don't have to play. It's okay.
Okay.
I made you uncomfortable. I'm sorry. Did you hear about this? You sent me the links. Okay. You sent me two things.
I did.
I thought you were interested in both of them. It seems like maybe you were interested in one of them at best. The one I think you might be interested in was when you told me that Sony is acquiring Insomniac Games.
Yeah, I think that's, it's kind of funny. It's taken them so long to do that.
It's right.
Because Insomniac, for all intents and purposes, has been a PlayStation shop.
You could have told me it already was, and I would have been like, oh, I guess I missed that 10 years ago, or something.
Right. No, but yeah, it's a big get for them, and to keep Insomniac from going anywhere. Although I am kind of curious now where, we're seeing more and more cross-platform stuff. When are we going to start seeing first-party stuff get like timed exclusives and then end up on the other, be crazy.
Well,
I think it's got to be coming at some point in the future.
Well, if it comes from anywhere, it's coming from Microsoft, right?
Well,
Who
of
is
course.
making this, like big push. In fact, if anything, I see this acquisition as kind of them keeping up a little bit. I mean, Sony doesn't have anything like Game Pass where they're, offering a stable of games like that with a stable of developers. But it could be seen as them kind of, well, we have to do something. We better buy Insomniac before Microsoft does.
Which would have
thing almost, right?
That would have been the greatest coup in video games, I think, if Microsoft just rolled up and was like, hey, Insomniac, would you like this dump truck of money we have? We don't need it.
I wouldn't be surprised at all, man. That would be the least surprising thing about this is if Microsoft approached them and they were like, well, shoot, we've had this working relationship with Sony for so long. We might as well give them the option to be like, hey, this makes sense for us financially.
Are you going to give us 2 dump trucks of money?
Basically. Or who knows? Maybe they took less money just so they could be. Again, we'll never know. But you're right. I think it's a smart choice. Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see what Sony does, what Insomniac does. It probably won't be a whole lot. It'll be Spider-Man 2 at some point.
Yeah, and then Infamous 12 or whatever.
Yes, or whatever. Yeah, Third Son.
And we'll never ever get a sequel to the one game we probably should get a freaking sequel to.
I can't even remember the title of that game that they made for 2 seconds that bombed to make a joke about it. That's how bad it is. What game are you talking about? It's like Firestorm or Fire. It changed names halfway through development also, and I want to say art styles as well.
No.
It was like the 4-player co-op thing.
I was thinking of Sunset Overdrive.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. That was an Insomniac. Shoot.
Yeah, and we'll never.
We just didn't get Sunset Overdrive 2 forever now, didn't we?
No, and I love that game, man. That was so fun.
It was. That was Microsoft Game Studio too, I think.
You went crazy with that one. I remember you played the hell out of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I 100%ed it. No, yeah, I loved it. I got all the DLC. The DLC was strong too. I really like that DLC.
Yeah. I hope someday.
That's a bummer. So do we never get that, or do we? I guess we don't know how the licensing worked out. Because I want to say Microsoft's name is on that somewhere. I mean, that's been on Game Pass.
Didn't it go to PS4 though? I could have sworn it did. I don't know.
Well. That's a thing for the internets, as they say. Did you hear about this other thing that you texted me about? The other thing you sent me was watch the Gears 5 trailer if you can. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Must be something. I'm like, okay. So I search around. I find a Horde trailer. And I'm like, oh, is it a Horde trailer you're talking about? And you're like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't know what it was. You said, is it the Horde trailer? And I didn't know if you meant there was another one. I just knew there was one today.
I don't know. That's why I wanted you to stop me dead in my tracks, so I had to do the least amount of looking for Gears as possible.
Which makes sense.
So let's assume it was the Horde trailer you were talking about.
It was the Horde trailer.
And I did watch it, but did you watch it?
I did watch it.
Oh, okay. So at least we can talk about that. What?
I'm bringing it up not because, believe me, I'm already not interested in the game. It's not happening.
I'm slightly offended you even brought it up, really.
I want to bring it up because I think that they may have actually, like, I got to see it and I got to watch it, but I think they may have actually improved Horde mode for the first time.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, here's where I'm at though.
Sure.
I love that they actually have ultimates now, like
Love
real,
it.
like
Freaking love it. Beautiful idea.
real
Great idea.
ultimates. Like that makes a difference if they kept kind of a similar difficulty to the last one and they didn't go, okay, you have ultimates, so we're going to nullify them by making everything as powerful as them.
Well, I mean, there will be some mode like that in there. Like, I bet your ults do a whole lot of nothing on insane or something like
Probably.
that. Whatever. That's Gears. They're always going to have the way too hard mode.
Right.
You'll be lucky someday if they keep the mode for everybody. The last game was so into the fans. That's great. Ults, you're right. I do love ults.
Yeah.
Sure, it could even be like the last one, and I'd probably be happy. If it has any of the stupid microtransactions, like that whole card system, I'm out. I'm out 5,000 times.
Sure.
I'm so over that stuff.
Yeah,
Forever.
I mean, we talked about this. The only reason I would ever get Gears is to play the campaign with you.
We'll play through the campaign. It's going to be free on Game Pass. We both still have Game Pass, right?
And that is, if it's coming free on Game Pass, 100% that's where I'm playing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
But the Horde,
I thought it was a cool
to change so much. They're going to have to get rid of that whole, and I just feel like they won't. Like, I still go into Horde on Gears 4 every now and then. I think I have some lingering stuff, even though I haven't been back for months. And things populated, man. People are playing it like crazy. Like, they'll come over to the new thing, whatever it is, and that's where they'll continue to try and squeeze money out of people, I'm sure.
Probably.
I'm almost positive.
I still think that trailer was cool. It did make it look really, really, like, that made it look more fresh than I've seen it look in a while. Just
Sure.
in general, Gears kind of looked a little more fresh there. And all right, you know what? I'm passively interested in terms of, I'm still not going to buy the game for that. I'm
just
never
so
going to
over it, man, because that just makes it worse. I'm like, this could be so good. Like, if this were Gears 3 Horde with ults, I'm already in.
Right.
Like, I will plan on hours worth of playing that thing.
Sure.
But it's not going to be. It's going to be Gears 4. It's going to be probably
gonna have the
cards
cards.
again. You're going to have to level up your ults. It's going to be nerfed until you do spend money or grind it all out. Gears doesn't care if you grind. Their fans love it at this point.
That's what the G in Gears stands for.
Basically, grind was the whole thing. Grind everything around Rutabaga Stofers. Kind of went off the rails there, but I think you get the idea.
I definitely do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gears of War, now in your
Gears of
freezer
War.
section.
You had heard about it. There you go. I don't know. Literally, just give me a yes or no on this stuff. So Gamescom actually happened.
No!
That's why we're getting some of this stuff. Okay. My fault for leading with that. Gamescom happened.
No!
Yes or no. Yeah, regardless. Some of the news coming out of it is kind of take or leave. There's a new Need for Speed Heat.
No!
Okay. Okay, maybe that was the only thing that I grabbed that I thought was barely worth.
Okay, fine.
Did this?
To be fair, Need for Speed is not a game that's ever really grabbed me as a series. It's not Burnout, so why do I care?
Well, so they did a Burnout, and I want to say it's because Criterion, they did Most Wanted, right?
Yeah.
Not the first one, the second one.
Yeah, and
I
I think I played that even.
It was great. It was a Burnout game. Like, I don't think it was as good as Burnout Revenge, but if you wanted a sequel to Burnout Revenge that you never got, like, play Most Wanted. It's probably my favorite Need for Speed ever, period.
Well, it certainly isn't the last one with the story.
No, and then we tried Rivals. I feel like we tried
Rivals.
one other.
That was the one I played and I hated it.
Yeah,
I hated that game a lot.
and it just wasn't. It's just not.
It didn't. Nothing. It was bad. Anyways.
And since then, they've had Payback. That didn't review well. And honestly, the trailer for this thing just
doesn't look great.
I mean, look might be the only thing about it. I like the colors, but
that's what sells me on games. I'm like, what color?
They list stuff off in that trailer, like, check this out and this out, and it's stuff that I like. This must be darn near the same trailer as the last Need for Speed game that actually, as Payback, I guess, was probably the last one because they took a year or however many.
And
off.
for their poor reviews, this is Payback.
It just seems so rote, that trailer. It's just everything about it. I'm like,
again, Need for Speed,
I don't know.
man. I feel like that game has not iterated like ever.
And maybe I don't know. Maybe they're not looking to. Maybe they do it every 2 years, and the people that buy Need for Speed always buy the Need for Speed. And now that they're doing it every 2 years, they can build up and it's a little bit more worth it. Or I don't know. But it's not going to be me. You're right. Let's not talk about that.
All right.
Now, this other thing, I don't know if it came out of Gamescom, but I'm intensely interested in, maybe just for the continuation that it is of this. So a lot of sports games have been doing story mode. You did long shot, right? Was it long? I know they've done 2 long shots, I want to say, in some
Madden, whatever last year was.
You did the first. Oh, you did the. So I think that was the second one then.
I don't know. It was the. Let's see. What did I do?
You did a long shot story mode inside of a football game.
I did. It was the one with what's his name? Marshala Ali.
Oh, okay, sure. I feel like you didn't hate it.
No, I really liked it, actually. I thought that was outside of, there were a couple of little things that are, there's the standard things in those games where every once in a while they want you to do a thing and they want it done. Like, you have to do it perfectly. And those are annoying, but it wasn't all of them. But I did like it. I thought it was actually really, a really good way of playing introduction and getting to know the systems and stuff.
I've never got closer to buying a sports game than with these story modes that are coming out. And 2K did it with NBA a couple times, maybe. I want to say Spike Lee said that he could put his name on it at some point also. Mm-hmm. There were ghosts involved, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Spike Lee's Ghosts.
I would watch that movie, actually.
Yeah, it's just like Patrick Swayze.
Okay, now I'm out. Well, it's still Spike Lee, though. You're right. What Spike Lee approaches somehow gets Patrick Swayze to do another movie.
Yeah, brings him back to life.
The notorious recluse that he is. I would probably watch that.
Yeah.
So they're doing it again, though. I don't know. Spike Lee. I don't think his name is actually on this thing, but I'll tell you whose name is. So it's NBA 2K20, and they've got in this thing Idris Elba.
Rosario Dawson.
You are correct.
Yes, I am.
Thomas Middleditch. I think he plays an agent. Mark Cuban's in there somewhere. Ernie Hudson.
Well, always. You got to have the best of the Ghostbusters.
Lamorne Morris, who I do not know. Scottie Pippen, who I've heard of, I guess. I don't know. And Jaleel White.
Wait, yeah.
Parentheses, Family Matters.
Double parentheses.
Urkel's in the game.
Did I do that?
And he did. Watch the trailer. But it's a good trailer.
Sure.
Did you watch the trailer?
I did. Yeah.
It's a good trailer.
That's how I knew Rosario Dawson was in it.
Her model looks the weirdest of all of them, I would say.
But Rosario Dawson. So.
She is in it. She does a fine job. All the voice acting seems fine. It's not like I would expect a ton out of this, much like Long Shot. Like, I bet you didn't get any... Okay. Much like any sports movie, really. Like, the point of those things isn't often a huge commentary on anything more than maybe the human spirit or, the place of sports culturally. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Like, there are some that transcend that, but
sure. I mean, it's I get it. You're the swath, the paintbrush. It's not everything, but majority of yeah.
And the trailer for this appears to show that they are painting with a broad brush as well. But I'm into it. It's a good trailer. I don't know if I'm going to buy it, but man, I just keep getting closer.
That's one of those Game Pass things, man.
Oh, would they?
I don't know. Check it out.
Game Passing 2K stuff?
I think they've got NHL 19 on there.
Huh. Wait. Oh, yeah, because this isn't EA. That all goes to EA Access.
Yeah, wait, who makes... No, EA makes 2K20, don't they?
No. 2K makes 2K20.
Oh, 2K. No, yeah, duh. NBA,
I'll cut that out, don't worry.
EA is NBA Live, which I think they stopped.
Yes, or Elite.
NBA Live 95, 96, those games, man. Me and my friends played so like me and my friend Aaron all the time. It was that. We played that.
Shout out to Aaron.
We played NHL, of course, 94, 95, 96, probably 97 too. Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, of course, was always on the rotation. And Skitchin.
Oh, I just realized I'm thinking of 06, 05, 06, 07, and not 90, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes. They were the best games.
Skitchin?
Dude, NBA Live in 1995, 96, and I said that time, the game was 3/4 view, and it was like the most amazing thing, like graphic wise. It was like they moved right. Oh, it was so good, and it was just a good game.
What platform?
We played think he had a Super Nintendo. I think we played on Super Nintendo.
I've never still to this day played more of a sports game than I played of, Madden 94, I think. I don't know. Madden 95. It was 94, 95, or 96. I don't know. That was the one and only Madden for 10 years for me.
Sure.
I don't remember thinking about it.
You don't need to.
Footballs.
Chuck it.
Anyways, that was interesting. Super Hot's coming to Switch, so buy it, you cowards.
It's actually already on Switch.
Is it? Okay, that's right. This happened the 19th. When are we recording this? Oh, the 19th. Yeah. Well, I don't know what that. Did you see this other thing? Did you hear about this? Bubble Bobble 4?
What?
Bubble Bobble 4?
What?
Okay, the full title is Bubble Bobble 4 Friends. I don't know if that's I don't know what happened to Bubble Bobble 2 or 3. Actually, there was a Bubble Bobble 2, wasn't there?
Yeah, is it 4 friends, like the number 4? Because it's like,
Yep.
That sounds like it's a 4-player game.
Like Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
This is either a sequel to Bubble Bobble 3 or Left 4 Dead, I guess, without increasing the number. So that joke didn't make any sense either.
I like it. It works.
Okay, good.
Left 2 Dead.
Left 2 Dead. So it's coming out on Switch. Bubble Bobble 4 Friends. You 4 people play the Bubble Bobbles.
Yeah, sold. That's a day one.
Updated graphics.
Day one.
Really? You might want to watch the trailer. Yes, I get the Bubble Bobble solidarity in Bubble Bobble.
Honestly, they just need to release the original game on the frickin' NES Classics thing already.
Yeah, did we decide that's not on the list? It might. They've rotated that thing. It may be.
I haven't looked in a long time.
Me neither.
But if they rotate Super Dodgeball out, I'm gonna throw a Super Dodgeball at their.
What if they
heads.
rotate Super Dodgeball out for Bubble Bobble? Then what do you do?
hate everything. That's Sophie's choice on that one.
Bubble Bobble 4 is coming out in Europe first, and then in North America in 2020. But yeah, the trailer's got the only reason I'm not day one-ish or whatever is watch the trailer. It's doing that thing where it's updating the graphics. I have no way of knowing if this is just a cash-in, or if it's somebody actually, because there are some new mechanics in it. Like there's some new leveling weirdness about it. It seemed that could be interesting, or
I want somebody to put
crap.
in as much care and make a Bubble Bobble Championship Edition like they did with Pac-Man.
Ooh. And then it's just Pac-Man Championship Edition, except you're a Bubble Bobble guy.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
You're a dino.
That's a day one. Last but not least, this. There's a Super Mario Odyssey mod to remove the stash.
I didn't, and that's weird.
You have no idea. So if you haven't seen it yet, maybe skip it. Maybe I just saved you.
Maybe skip it.
Maybe skip. I'm telling you.
Skip it.
You want to see Mario without a mustache? No, you don't.
I don't.
You thought you did. You don't.
I don't.
Don't.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Will not.
But if you did, it's YouTuber Pro Sophia Gaming showing off Game Banana's modder site, I guess.
Just Google.
Creator on the Game Banana
Just
modder
Google mustache-less Mario.
Just Google Game Banana. Actually, just Google Banana. I'm sure it'll get you
That's
there.
it,
Just
yeah.
eventually. That's all I have for this probably not even short show. Now, I can't tell because I'm recording this on the computer this week, so I have no idea what the runtime is. Oh, there it is, right down there in the corner. 51 minutes.
Yep. I match that.
Now I got to cut this part out because by the time I'm editing it, there's no way it's close to 51 minutes.
It'll
That
be
probably includes some troubleshooting on the front end.
28.
If I cut out all the interesting stuff. Wait, why would I cut out the interesting stuff? Because it's bad.
Because it's a better show if you do.
It's not what I was doing.
0 points!
We are 0 Hit Points. You can find us at www.zerohitpoints.com. You can email us at podcast@zerohitpoints.com, or you can Twitter or Facebook us. Like I said, this week come back for our Infinity Endgame show. And we did actually get some good old Jonathan Blade gave us some cool feedback. I haven't checked the tweets all the way yet. So bad at Twitter nowadays with a full-time job. It's the worst. Am I talking about Twitter or the full-time job?
Both.
You'll never know. We're not coming back next week with Book Club, but the week after that, we'll talk about some of our Endgame response, and I guess more because the Infinity Endgame show comes out this week.
We will not be doing a Book Club for Movies episode until September 9th,
Okay.
because you don't come back until the 3rd.
That's right. And then I come back. I'm still in PAX over that Monday.
Yep.
Well, all right. Very likely we'll have some PAX stuff up. I'll do something from there and post something from there. They weren't selling rooms at the hotel I usually stay at, so I'm staying at the friggin' Hyatt, like right down there.
Oh, nice.
In the thick of it.
Yeah,
so
that's the best.
I'm pretty sure they've got the internets, hopefully wired. That's my dream. But
everybody's.
In any event, stay tuned for the PAX stuff and stay tuned for the movie stuff later this week. Anything else? Am I forgetting?
Have a good PAX. You and everybody.
Yeah. Everybody have a good PAX.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing all the free games that you get from the Gearbox panel and all the other crap that I'm not going to get and feel screwed by.
Gearbox panel. What was the other one? CD Projekt Red panel. I'm pretty sure they're doing. I've looked at the schedule. I have to check
You're
that out.
You're going to get to like kiss Keanu Reeves and he's going to be like,
the
here you
Kiss
go.
panel.
Have a whole bunch of video games.
I've got a Robo Chubby. I don't know why. That's
Station!